Walton met Kennedy in the late 1940s in Georgetown, where the young unwed congressman was living with his sister Eunice, and Walton was turning the second floor of his Victorian-style home into a studio after leaving journalism to try his hand at painting. Walton, a former Time magazine war correspondent who won a Bronze Star after parachuting into Normandy with General James Gavin's 82nd Airborne Division, had known JFK's late brother and sister, Joe and Kik, in London. He flew one mission with Joe's naval aviation outfit about a month before the eldest Kennedy brother died on a treacherous bombing run. 8 years older than JFK, Walton must have conjured memories of his heroic older brother in Jack. But if Walton had the resume of a man's man, he was equally at ease in the company of women, with whom his relationships tended to be sweet and safe and jolly, in the words of one such female companion, Martha Gellhorn, the distinguished war reporter and ex-wife of Ernest Hemingway. Walton also enjoyed a sweet and safe friendship with Jackie Kennedy. He met her in Washington before she was married, when she was just a wonderful-looking, kooky young inquiring photographer for the now-defunct Times-Herald. He immediately was drawn to her fey, elfin quality and her curiosity about books and art. She liked his bohemian style with his fondness for wearing tight blue jeans and work shirts years before it became a popular look, and his love of gossip. Walton was 20 years older than the wide-eyed gamin, but he had a wonderful boyish spirit and crooked grin that brought to Gellhorn's mind a clever and funny Halloween pumpkin. Like other women, Jackie was also surely drawn to Walton's valiant effort at single fatherhood, raising son Matthew and daughter Frances by himself after he was divorced from his mentally unstable wife. After the Kennedys moved into the White House, the first couple made Walton a frequent sidekick, finally giving him an official role in 1963 as the chairman of the Fine Arts Commission, where he and Jackie joined hands to save Washington's historic blocks from the wrecking balls of Philistine developers. She sent him flirtatious notes on White House stationery, including a collage featuring a photo of Walton with the inevitable cigarette in hand and the inscription, "Hate cigarettes, but I simply can't resist those Marlboro men. Will you be my Valentine?" He was in a unique position, Walton later noted, because he was equally close to both Jack and Jackie. They each confided their secrets in him, and they used him to communicate with each other. "I figured out later that I was a real link for both of them. You can well imagine how tough that period is in anybody's life. It is the eye of the hurricane." Walton, witty, worldly, dishy, helped ground them both. They could act around him as if they were still the young, carefree couple they had been back in Georgetown. One summer day, Walton brought an architectural model of his proposed renovations for Lafayette Square, which JFK had taken a strong interest in, to Hyannisport, where the Kennedys were vacationing. Jack got down on the floor and just loved it, and played with it, and Jackie came in and said, "You too," Walton recalled with a laugh. And later, another time, she caught us on his bedroom floor. He was supposed to be taking a nap, meaning he just had on his underpants, and it was like 2:30 in the afternoon. He'd had a little sleep, and then I'd been let in because I had a crisis on something that had to be decided that afternoon. We're on the floor with another model, and she went out and got her camera and took pictures and sent me a copy of it, and it said, "The President and the Czar," because the newspapers had started calling me Czar of Lafayette Square. Bill thinks that Jack's flirtatiousness with men is a part of his sexual drive and vanity. Walton's friend Gore Vidal recorded in his journal in September 1961. Vidal, who years later called his friend the only civilizing influence in that White House, enjoyed encouraging Jackie's own naughty side. That summer, he teamed up with Walton to escort Jackie, with whom he had a family connection, on an adventure in Provincetown, already a gay mecca. Jackie and Bill Walton arrive at the Moores Motel at 5:30, Vidal wrote in his journal. That morning, Jackie had been pondering over the phone to me. Should she wear a blonde wig with braids in order not to be recognized? Instead, she wears a silk bandana, a jacket, capri pants, and looks dazzling.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.